Good afternoon. I'm Jean. I'm your FM wine guide. Well, today is certainly beautiful outside, but rain is coming and those cooler winds are turning us into the fall, which for me means a delightful return to warmer red wines, more luscious, bold, boisterous, full-bodied red wine season. So isn't that exciting? There's one grape I feel like becoming the champion of this fall into the winter season, something I'm actually really excited about, a grape I've always been in love with. So my pick, my fashionable wine for this season is going to be Australian Shirazes. That might seem odd, like didn't those go out of style a while ago? Are they great? Are they interesting? I feel like Australia is seeing a renaissance at a certain price level and for certain wineries for Shiraz that are making headway with some incredibly craft quality, interesting, dynamic wines produced well with great flavor at a pretty good price still. So Australia kind of suffered, pardon me while I take a sip of this delicious wine. Australia suffered from a couple of problems over the last 10 to 15 years. Way back when I was in college, actually one of my first favorite wines was a little critter wine. Yellowtail Shiraz was kind of my go-to when I was on a college budget, and it did the job at the time. That critter wine was great for introducing people of that age into red wines for a price they could afford. Unfortunately, the entire Australian industry seemed to follow that trend and invested in a large amounts of mass-produced plonk. Instead of asking the question, how can we get our vineyards to produce interesting grapes of authenticity and personality, they started asking questions like, how can we stretch these grapes to be as sweet and drinkable and gulpable as possible for the lowest price possible so we can sell as much to the Americans as we can. And that's what Australian wine became for a long time. That, on top of that, Australia hit a few bad vintages, like 3 bad vintages right in a row, right around 2001, 2002, 2003. So the people who were still trying to do the right things and make interesting quality wines suffered and didn't have a very good story to tell for a long time. Well, that is all turning around. Better investments are happening. People are really getting back into the soil and trying again to market their authentic ideas to America. And one of the ones I'm really excited about is Kilikanoon. I love the way that rolls off the tongue, by the way. The wine rolls on the tongue just as well. So Kilikanoon, this is the Killerman's Run 2016 Shiraz. It's set a little back further in the hills than some of the more popular wine regions, like McLaren Vale and Barossa, those regions you might be familiar with. Some of the biggest brands are from there. And they get really hot and sunny. Kilikanoon is up in the Clare Valley, which is a little cooler, which helps the wines retain their acidity and get a nice ripe tannin structure to them. And a little more finesse is done with the winemaking. Karen McNeil in her Wine Bible highlights Kilikanoon as one of the top producers in the country. And Kevin Mitchell is the winemaker there, along with his father Mort, who has been making wine and growing the grapes on their family estate for as long as they've been around. So family business, nice heritage, quality wine. What I get when I put this Shiraz in my nose is there's a little bit of floral there. Immediately when I opened it up, I got cinnamon toast. There's a really warm, brambly blackberry sort of note, kind of like fruit desserts, like think blackberry cobbler. There's a bit of a rusticity to it as well, like slight bit of earthiness, but the fruit is really dominant. And then not till I get it on the palate do I really get this attack of that pepper and mint. So check this out. I think this is super complex, silky, fun to drink, and really warms the bones during this coming cool season. So if you want to learn more about more Australian Shirazes, stay tuned. I'll be featuring others. Or if you want to check out any more of my wine videos, check it out on my YouTube channel, where here in Fargo, we are learning to sip, savor, and swirl, not snobbier, but smarter.